Hi, friends. You know what I'd love to hear from a political candidate sometime in my life? I'd love to hear, I promise, to serve not only those who voted for me, but also those who didn't. And I promise to spend twice as much energy trying to understand the needs and wants of those who are different from me as I do following my own pursuits. Do you agree? Isn't that what they all should be saying? Could your candidate ever say that? Elected officials are our public servants. In order to do a good job, they must place the needs of their people above their own desires. The larger the office, the more servitude they should provide. The role of President of the United States is the role of servant to all of us. Is that how Donald Trump sees it? If he's elected, will he be our servant? Not a chance. Trump's business career, his personal life, and his political career have been all about benefiting him with no regard for other people. Racist housing and employment policies, refusing to pay small contractors for work they completed, taking advantage of women, ridiculing disabled people. These are all signs that he has no problem using his power against others. He has nothing inside himself, no moral compass that tells him to stop, that tells him these people have rights, that what he's doing is wrong. Someone who repeatedly uses his power in this way should not be given more power. I acknowledge that for many people, they feel that having a business person run the country is a good idea. In concept, this is fair. But I'd like to ask you, would you run your business the same way Trump has run his businesses? Would you discriminate against people of color? Would you refuse to pay contractors knowing that if they sued, you could tie them up in court indefinitely? Would you lie about the value of your assets to your investors? I don't think you would. You care about other people. Donald Trump has proven that he believes the rules don't apply to him. He said years ago that he could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it. And the more power we give him, the more that rings true. The checks and balances that the founders established to prevent one person from having too much power have, in recent times, been eroded. The Supreme Court has ruled that a president cannot be held responsible for things he does in office. The congresspeople within Trump's own party, who should be holding him accountable, are afraid to speak their consciences for fear of repercussions. Think about this. What happens to Republican lawmakers who dare to disagree with Trump? Most of them are gone, right? Trump and his big money friends campaign against them, and they are removed from the conversation. There is no room for dissent in today's Republican Party. Is that healthy? Does that help serve the people? Is Trump that perfect that his is the only opinion that matters? Even if you agree with everything Trump has done up to this point, the fact that he can't tolerate any disagreement could be highly concerning to you. A second presidency would create a position of unlimited power for him, which is exactly what many of the founders were trying to escape. If the purpose of government is to serve and protect all the people, don't we really want to hear different opinions to make sure we're not missing anyone? If the only people Trump allows to the table are those who think exactly like he does, how will he adequately serve the rest of us? Maybe Trump actually has no intention of serving the people. Maybe all he wants is power. If Congress is unwilling to stand up to Trump, and if the Supreme Court has given him a get out of jail free card, his conscience certainly won't tell him to stop. If we elect him to the presidency, he will control all three branches of the government. Who, then, will prevent him from doing whatever comes into his mind? Who will stop him from taking advantage of the ones he chooses to attack. The power for this moment is in our hands, the voters. If we fail to see this as the danger to democracy that it is, then Trump will have more power than any person should have, let alone a person who has a habit of abusing power. Integrity is very important to me as a voter, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. I would rather elect someone whose policy ideas differ from mine, but who has a strong internal sense of morality and service to others, than someone who promises to make all my dreams come true, but who doesn't care about right and wrong. I'm not saying I agree with everything Kamala Harris has ever done or wants to do, but if she's elected, she will not have the unlimited power that Trump would have in that position. Even within her own party, she will have to fight for consensus and make compromises, which is the right way to do politics. And for the moment, she is the only one who can prevent Donald Trump's tyranny. While I have your attention, can we please take a moment to recognize that it was our two-party system that was responsible for nearly putting two terrible options on the ballot to run our country? I'm very glad Harris is running instead of Biden, but I think it's time to start talking about how we can take big money and the big parties out of politics so we don't end up in this situation again next time. There are literally millions of good candidates out there whose names are not on the ballot because the ballot is ruled by the big two parties. Only two candidates have a chance of winning. A vote for a third party candidate is wasted, and that's a problem. In the short term, we must elect Harris to save our country from tyranny. But then let's get to work figuring out how to put the people back in the driver's seat.